Welcome to the Big Braid Show. I'm your host, Mr. Big Braids, coming to you live from a reservation somewhere. Just wanted to go off kilt, and I had a couple people that were commenting about, they were asking about some stories that I wrote and stuff like that. And I was like, I got a few books out there, and they were like, well, tell the story online. So I was like, all right, well, I'll get one out there for you guys. We'll throw one out there. I got a couple of crazy stories that go with some different books that I wrote. So I got this one. I, I'd been basically out and about on walkabout for quite some times there, and I'd been on this on a journey for quite some time. I ended up at this crazy house once, and I didn't even know how I was doing it there, but I ended up at this house, and there was a lot of people there, and man, I had a horrible hangover this one morning, and it was awful. I was like, oh, I was so tired. I was about ready to blow dust. I was so freaking, hungover and awful, and began, and this was back before when I was, when I was in my drinking days and stuff like that. I've been, since sober for quite some time, and but back then I was on walkabout. And running around and trying to find a place in the world, and so this lady shows up at the doorstep, and there's like 20 people in this house, and everybody's still asleep. It's when like really dark and dusky inside the house, and as I was sitting there looking around, this really big lady, she comes walking in, and I don't mean that in the sense, because she was a beautiful lady for being older, bigger lady, but she, she needed some help. She came in and she was pretty distraught, and she was like all sweaty. She was kind of like, oh my god, I don't know what the hell just happened. And I was like, wait, I was just not trying to get up. I was like, what's going on? How can I help you? What's going on? And she was like, I just got run over by a truck. And I was like, what? And by the size of this lady, you could not believe how big she was. And then you picture a truck running her over. It just, it didn't make sense. And I had to get up and look around, and I was like, what? I was like, what's going on with this picture here? And so she gets up and she tells me, she's like, yeah, man. She's like, oh my god, I don't even know if I should call the clinic or whatever. She's like, I got picked up by this guy last night. He took me for a drive, and I wanted to get off, and he didn't want to let me. And he's got this big truck. It's jacked up. It's got like giant wheels. It's like a Bigfoot truck. And I was like, wait, what? What? I was like, what kind of truck was it? And she was like, yeah, it was a really big one. And she said, I couldn't help it. I jumped out. And she said, I just jumped out the door. The truck rolled over me, cruised on by me. I get up and walk over, and I was like, I can, and I was sitting there, and I was like, oh my god, I was trying to hold back the dry heave, and I was like, oh my god, all right, wait, let me. I was like, are you okay? Is everything okay? And she was like, you don't believe me, do you? And I was like, no. I mean, it's a hard to believe story, but I mean, sure, I'm here. And so she's like, well, I'm just gonna go someplace else and find out what's going on. And so she goes to turn out and walks outside the door. There's this big, gigantic black tire mark across her white shirt. And it's like from her neck down to the back. I was like, oh my god. I was like, here, come here, come here. Are you okay? Does your back hurt? I see the tire track. I know something's wrong with me. Are you okay? And she says, oh my god. She said, yes. She said, I can't believe it. I said, man. I was like, you must have been through like a hellish night or something like that. And she said, yeah. She said, I just happened like, a few blocks down. I walked over here, and I had a friend that stayed over here, and I thought I'd come and stop you. And she was like, man, and she was like, oh, you look kind of hungover. And I said, yeah. I said, I am kind of feeling kind of rough. It's been a long day and long night. And here we are early in the morning. And she was like, here, take a shot. So she reaches into her shirt, lifts up one of her huge double D's, and pulls out this big, gigantic bottle of vodka. Passes it to me, and I'm sitting there, and I said, did you have that in there when you got run over? And she said, yeah. And I can't believe it stayed real. It didn't bust, once she got run over. So I had to, I had to take a drink of that sucker. So I take a drink of that. It was like the warmth of breast. And so that was one funny moment that the story is written better, but you heard it from the from the author there. But I got a book of crazy stories that I've written along the way. I'm not going to throw it out there because that's really going to bring back the identity of Mr. Big Braids, and I'm I'm not here looking to, you know, keep it real with everybody, but just wanted to share a little story with everybody, I do have quite a few different stories, and we're gonna, possibly get into a story time mode to where I can might tell you some crazy adventures because Mr. Big Braids has traveled the world. I've seen a lot of things. I've had a lot of adventures. I actually have a book about a lot of the stuff that's out there. And, as I get older, I just basically feel pretty good. I mean, I'd like to share some of those adventures with everybody because, a lot of people don't really get to go on a lot of adventures. Stuff like that, and some of the stuff I've seen. Oh my God! And I would love to hear a lot of your stories out there too. So we're gonna have to hit that live event soon. I'm still waiting on that damn Elon to send me my Starlink, but haven't quite got it yet. You hear me, Elon? You out there? Is it on the way? So apparently I'm still in line, but just some random talk across the evening. I just wanted to get a little bit of story time with the community out there, and we'll get back into the coin count, into the watch list and the stock charts and such. So, but yeah, a crazy story from my end, and so 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 for everybody out there that heard that story, you always remember this is not financial advice. These are reviews and opinions on the market only, and you always got to do what's right for you. So you also have a good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night. Mr. Big Braids is signing out.